Okay, guys, I'm here for episode 14 of Revisiting the Rumble, the review series where I revisit every Royal Rumble, Revisiting the Rumble, episode 14. The review series where I revisit every Royal Rumble from 1988 till 2014. The 2016 Royal Rumble will be its own video. This series will not be done by then, but I don't put a selected date on when I'm going to have these series done. So, new Royal Rumble 2001, the closest thing to a perfect Royal Rumble that has ever existed in the WWE. Because if it wasn't for one match being on here, this show would be perfect. So let's get into it. January the 21st, 2001, from the New Orleans Arena in New Orleans, Louisiana. So I believe New Orleans has not hosted a SummerSlam or a Survivor Series. So it's hosted two of the Big Four, but not the all Big Four, like New York City has. 5-match card. Total star rating will be 25. Opening match, WWE Tag Team Championship match. Edge and Christian versus the Dudley Boys. 3 stars this match. Very good tag match, which is to be expected from Edge and Christian and the Dudleys. Because with the Hardys, those 3 teams helped reinvent and gave a rebirth to the tag team division in the WWE. Story going into this match is that the Dudleys are wrestling with a concussion. A storyline concussion, but a concussion nonetheless. So Edge and Christian they work over the Dudleys' heads, which is psychology in the match. See, again, goes back to psychology, helps with the story of the match, adds with the storytelling and the drama of the match. A dying art form psychology in wrestling matches. Dudleys do their traditional spots, their What's Up. They go for a 3D on Christian. Edge spears Bubba, only gets a 2. Edge and Christian try a What's Up that's countered. And then the Dudleys hit the 3D on Edge to get the win. And win the tag team titles. They would hold them till, I think, Raw a couple weeks later. Because I think that's the Raw where the Dudleys, Hardys, and Edge and Christian all in one night got the tag titles. Or something, because I know it went from the Dudleys to the Hardys, from the Hardys back to the Dudleys, and then from the Dudleys to Edge and Christian or something. This all happened on one Raw, and I know it happened sometime before WrestleMania 17. I just don't know when. But I do know there was one Raw where the Hardys, Dudleys, and Edge and Christian all swapped the tag titles in a matter of a 2-hour Raw. And that's the true hot potatoing, if you can't even make it through one show as the champion. So then we get one of the greatest matches in the history of the Royal Rumble that is not the Royal Rumble match, as it's a ladder match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Chris Benoit versus Chris Jericho. This is a 5-star match, and what is sad is it's never going to be talked about anymore due to the circumstances surrounding Chris Benoit. Whether or not they're true or not, due to the circumstances surrounding Chris Benoit's death, this match is never going to be talked about or remembered. Although it might be on the first ladder match DVD, because that, I think, was released before Benoit did what he did, or the situation surrounding it. I'm not real sure, though. But this is a 5-star match. It's a ladder match is traditional, but they use the ladder in more different ways. It's also got this famous spot where Benoit's going for a suicide dive, and Jericho just hits him in the head outright of a chair. No wonder Benoit got brain damage. I'm actually glad that they took out chair shots to the head, because given what we know now about concussions and what they can do to people, it's probably a good thing. And like I said, you don't need a chair shot to the head for an impact. You don't need a chair shot to the head for the chair shot to be impactful. There's also a famous Walls of Jericho spot on the ladder. That's nice. Finish, Benoit's climbing the ladder. Jericho gets this chair, hits Benoit in the back. Benoit pushes him aside. But Jericho on his bounce back knocks the ladder over, and Benoit goes outside, and that allows Jericho to get the title. 5-star match. True 5-star classic match at the Royal Rumble. So then we get the one match that brings this show down, that if it was not here, would be a much better show. WWE Women's Championship match, Ivory versus Chyna. Storyline going into this match, as everyone knows, is Chyna had suffered a neck injury. A neck injury that both her options involved her not wrestling again, yet here she is wrestling again. And this was primarily done so they could get Chyna away from guys and put her into the women's division and not hire any new women that actually would be a challenge for Chyna. So they basically gave her this injury as a way of weakening Chyna. This is a half a star match just because it does technically for this stupid angle anyway. But it's also a squash match as Ivory gets no offense in other than the fact that she won. Chyna went for a handspring elbow, hit it, and jarred her neck. And that allows Ivory to get the win. And then we get the whole somber voice stuff that happens when WWE tries to make a storyline injury seem real. Now, there are real injuries in professional wrestling, but sometimes there are storyline injuries, and you get that voice the entire time. And it takes it off sometimes. Like I said, it's half a star. It's not much. Without this match is what brings this show down. So then we get the WWE Championship match. Kurt Angle with Trish Stratus in his corner versus Triple H with Stephanie McMahon in his corner. This is a rarity even in 2001 standards of it's heel versus heel. And the fans don't know what to do. This is a 4.5 star match. It's a great match, but I think that the Stephanie Trish angle overshadows Triple H and Angle and the interference from Steve Austin. Which, while it makes sense, I would have preferred one of these guys to win the match clean. Now, I get what they were doing. They were setting up Austin and Triple H for the 2 out of 3 Falls match in No Way Out 2001. But, I get that. But, finishing sequences, there's 2 ref bumps. One that's outside after Triple H axe handle. And Enter Hubner gets sandwiched between Kurt Angle's knee and the ring steps. So Austin comes out, hits Triple H with the chair, hits him with a stunner. Angle rolls over, 1, 2, 3. Kurt Angle wins the match and retains the championship that he would drop the next month to The Rock, setting up Rock and Austin 2 at WrestleMania. Setting up Rock and Austin's second match at WrestleMania that year. 4.5 stars. If it had a clean finish and didn't rely so much on the Trish and Stephanie angle, this probably would have been a 5-star match. So then we get the 2001 Royal Rumble, the second greatest Royal Rumble match ever, only behind 1992. In fact, if it was only for one thing, is why it's 4.5 stars and not the full 5. This is a very interesting Royal Rumble because it's the only Royal Rumble that can be played out kind of in segments in a way. There's the opening segment, which is the first 5 guys setting up something. And then there's another segment, then there's another segment, and there's the final segment. So it's kind of like a 4-chapter Royal Rumble match in a way. The opening chapter is the first 5 guys, which are Jeff Hardy number 1, Bull Buchanan number 2. Then that's 3, they eliminate Bull Buchanan. Faarooq's 4, gets eliminated by Hardy's. And then at number 5, out comes Drew Carey. Yes, WWE Hall of Famer Drew Carey in his first and only Royal Rumble, and up to that point minus the Hall of Fame ceremony in WrestleMania 27, his only appearance ever in WWE. And he comes out 5, the Hardys eliminate themselves, and in the second chapter of the Royal Rumble, and the first chapter of the Rumble ends when Kane comes out, stalks Drew Carey, who they had an interaction earlier in the night, so this was set up earlier. Kane stalks Drew Carey, enters the ring. Drew Carey tries to buy off Kane. Kane goes for a choke slam. Raven stops him. And then Drew Carey eliminates himself. And that sets up the second chapter of the Royal Rumble. The hardcore Royal Rumble segment, if you will. Where Kane and a whole bunch of hardcore guys, Raven, Al Snow, Perry Saturn, Steve Blackman, and for some reason Grandmaster Sexay, are all in the ring together. Kane beats Grandmaster over the top rope of a garbage can. Then he eliminates Blackman, Snow, Raven, and Saturn. So then the third phase of the Royal Rumble starts when the Honky Tonk Man comes in, sings his little song, gets right to the guitar by Kane. Yes, see, this is how you use a guitar in a meaningful way and don't use it constantly in the matches like Jeff Jarrett does. Because at least then it can get a pop and possibly draw a dime, unlike Jeff Jarrett, who never drew anything. Ask Mike Graham on the Rise and Fall of WCW DVD. Kane hits Holly Out Man with the guitar, eliminates them. And then when The Rock comes in, this is when the third phase of the Rumble officially starts. It's The Rock versus Kane. Good Father's eliminated really quickly. And then Taz comes in his only Royal Rumble and lasts an impressive 12 seconds. Yes, he runs to the ring. Kane grabs him, sits on the top rope, uppercut, gone. Taz, you were in the Royal Rumble for 12 seconds, you shorty. So then the ring fills up again, you know. And then Undertaker comes in and we get our final part of... Well, Big Show comes in, which starts the final part of the Royal Rumble, the fourth part. Big Show comes in, eliminates Test, eliminates K quick on the side of the ring nearest the entryway, which he tends to like doing because he does it a lot. And then he chokeslams everyone except The Rock. Goes chokeslam Rock, Rock low blow, clothesline over the top. And then Big Show chokeslams Rock through an announcer's table. And that brings out The Undertaker, him and Kane clean house. And then, just for a small little comic moment in between what's going to get serious, out comes Scotty 2 Hotty with the most with the most insane look of fear you're ever going to see. And if Ted DiBiase or Bobby Heenan were calling this show, they would have said that they gave Scotty 2 Hotty credit for being stupid for getting into the ring of Undertaker and Kane, who assault him, dump him out, and then Austin shows up. And as Austin, before he gets in the ring, he's assaulted by Triple H. And then Austin goes overboard with a blade job that's all over the back of his head and everything else. Kind of a little bit uncalled for. And then we get Billy Gunn, Haku, and Rikishi to finish out this Royal Rumble. Austin gets in the ring, eliminates Haku. Rikishi eliminates Taker. Rock eliminates Rikishi, and we're down to the final four, which are Kane, Austin, Rock, and Billy Gunn. Oh yes, you know that old Sesame Street song? That goes, one of these things is not like the other. One of these things just isn't the same. That's Billy Gunn being in the final four because Rock, Kane, Austin, and the other guy in the ring with him is Billy Gunn. The one guy of this final four that no one believed could win the Royal Rumble. And he doesn't. He's the first one in the final four eliminated by Austin. Then Kane tries to eliminate Austin. Rock only gets Rock. And then Austin eliminates Kane to win the 2001 Royal Rumble and get his third Royal Rumble win. It's a 4.5-star Rumble. Would have been 5 for one reason. Since they bothered to make Kane look like an absolute monster by having him eliminate a third of the field, 33% of the Royal Rumble field, he should have won the Royal Rumble. He didn't have to go to WrestleMania. He did that with Austin in 1997. He could have had Kane win this Royal Rumble and then lose his title shot to Austin the very next night on Raw. So that's really the only reason. And even that would not have made the Royal Rumble plot device at all anyway, because 2002, which I'll get to in the next review, the winner of the Royal Rumble, even though he went to WrestleMania, lost the championship match beforehand, and I'll get to that in the next video. So as per usual, the entry order for the Rumble will be in the description box. The most eliminations will be in the description box, and August Lasting will be in the description box. This gets a 17.5 out of 25 stars, which makes this show a very solid B. If it was not for the Women's Championship match, this show would be an A, if not A+. But because of the Women's title match, I have to give it a B. It has to get a B because the Women's title match is here, and I have to do that. But this is one of the few Royal Rumble shows that holds up, that if you were to watch today, you could sit through it and just be thoroughly entertained as if you were back in 2001. I was, minus the whole China Ivory match. But this will be in the Revisiting Rumble playlist. If you like this video, like button's down there, subscribe button's down there, and thank you for watching. Bye.